Ah, this is the life. The Sydney Opera House, the Harbour Bridge, and cruising in style.
You left out beers. We had
Most
some
important
beers.
thing of all, actually, beers. Lots of them.
Yes, the travel guys are on a Holland America cruise of Australia bound for New Zealand. Next. Hi, I'm Jim Gordon.
And I'm Darren Parkman.
And we are the Travel Guys.
Well, my friend, here we are back in what has always been my very favorite city in the entire world. It really is.
Yeah.
Sydney, Australia. And behind us is the iconic Sydney Opera House. Look at that thing.
It's great to be back here, buddy, for the first time since 2011. Coming up on our great Holland America cruise, we're going to highlight some cities in this country, including Sydney, Melbourne, and...
Don't forget Tasmania, where they got them screeching devils, the Tasmanian devils.
You're thinking of the cartoon.
So they can't talk?
No.
Okay.
But we will see them all.
And we're also going to head over on that cruise to New Zealand, and we're going to end up in Auckland. All that and a lot more coming up, so stick around. I've said this before, this is probably my favorite city in the world.
Yeah.
I would describe Sydney as a tropical London. It really is.
That's a good description, yeah.
It's very British. There's a pub on every corner, but you get parrots flying over your head and cockatoos.
Yeah.
The weather you can't beat either.
I love the different architecture, like just across the street here. Just the modern and old historic blend beautifully.
It's got a cool look and a very cool vibe.
Oh, I love the vibe here. The culture here is fantastic.
And you and your young friends, you like vibes and.
Well, being young myself, you got to have young friends, right?
You got your whole life ahead of you.
I really do.
What are you, 70?
Hey, there's one of those pubs down there at the corner. Let's go check that out.
Let's go check it out. We're here at Bondi Beach, one of the most famous beaches in the world. How's the surfing today?
The surf is okay today. Yesterday was a little bit better. Today's a little bit more water moving.
Yeah.
So you got to be like a little bit on your game.
Is that thing a chick magnet?
This thing here, no, this thing's not a chick magnet. I'm a chick magnet.
Ah.
My blonde hair's a chick magnet. This is just like a prop.
That's just an accessory.
That's an accessory.
It's an accessory.
All the chicks, you see? Can you see all the chicks around?
That's the problem, Jim. That's why we don't get to chicks.
That's
We
right.
can't surf.
We can't surf.
No, that's one of the many things we do
knew
quite
that's
badly.
right.
Hey, gotta ask you, is the water warm all year round here?
25 degrees now.
Wow.
In winter, the coolest is about, I reckon, about 18.
So you can surf all year?
Oh yeah, surf all year, yeah.
So what makes this beach so spectacular?
To be honest with you, I have no idea. I've had friends say to me, when you come over to England or the US, can you get me some sand from Bondi? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, it's only City Beach. That's why it's famous.
And the only thing better than surfing, in my opinion, is drinking beer after surfing. Am I right?
100%.
He's a man after my own heart right here.
100%.
Buddy, one of the things I love about Sydney, in the span of an hour, we have gone from checking out one of the most famous landmarks, Sydney Opera House, to one of the most famous beaches, Bondi, like 20 minutes apart.
It's all pretty compact here. And now it's time to check out one of the most famous beers in Australia, perhaps a Tooheys or a BB. Let's go do it.
Yes, okay.
Is this one of the famous ones I was hoping for?
This is one we have not had yet, called Byron Bay Lager.
Which is a few hours away from here, Byron Bay, right?
Yeah. We've traveled to a lot of parts of Australia. What's interesting is that they all have their distinctive beers, each province, right?
You know, every time I visit a country, I try to learn a song that's native to that country. Remember in Ireland I did that? I always like to learn a song native to it. And you know, Australia has some beautiful creatures, and one of them is a bird called a galah.
Okay.
So here's a picture of a galah.
Nice.
Beautiful little
So
thing.
we could just stop right there.
This song, there's a
okay.
song about it. It's called Gary Galah. Gary Galah. And it goes a little something like this. Way out west where the gum trees are, lived a funny fella called Gary Galah. And the one thing Gary likes to invest is wandering around in fancy dress. He likes knickerbockers, bow ties.
Okay.
Gary Galah.
No, let's go back to the picture. I think that's a better idea. Another great area to check out when you're in Sydney is Darling Harbour, where we are right now. Parkman, we have a lot of memories of this area.
We really do. It's bar after bar after bar, and the King Street Wharf here. It's one of the most pretty places in the whole city, and a great place to come if you like nightlife. And there was a time when I did enjoy nightlife.
When we were younger, yes.
Now I go to bed at 6 p.m. Cargo Bar, great bar here in Darling Harbour, and had a lot of fun at that place, and it still looks very cool. Yeah.
I think our very first show in Sydney was 2005, and we stayed in this neighborhood, and it was there's just, again, so many great pockets in this city where you can so many great restaurants, water's right beside you, fabulous.
Enough reminiscing. For old time's sake, maybe we should have a drink at Cargo Bar. What do you think?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this place brings back a ton of memories. As I said, Cargo Bar, spent a lot of time here. I remember many times coming to this bar, strolling in proudly, and then leaving on my hands and knees. Lots of times.
Marvelous example you're setting for the
Thank
kids
you,
watching
yeah.
at home. But then I think
that was back when I was a kid, though. When I was young.
It's just patio after patio after patio in this Darling Harbour area. And again, if you're staying in this region, you could just stay here.
It's kind of the bar district,
yeah.
And we're drinking yet another Australian beer, Tooheys New. Tooheys New, this is called, not to be confused with Tooheys Old.
Yeah.
Or VB, which is Victoria Bitter, but it's good lager.
It is very nice.
Cheers, buddy.
Yes, here's to Cargo Bar. Memories, memories, memories. Well, a spot that Parkman and I have discovered and have fallen in love with is the Grounds in the City, and we're with a guy that's been looking after us.
Name. That's what it's called, Grounds in the City. Very cool name.
Great coffee here too, good food.
Yeah.
Evan is a guy, our favorite bartender here in Sydney, and a great drink you got us to try.
What are we drinking? What's the name of this drink?
So this is called the Travelling Guy.
The Traveling Guy?
Travelling Guy.
Our show's called The Travel Guys. What a bizarre yet pleasing coincidence. What a bizarre yet pleasing coincidence.
Yes.
Wow, what are the odds?
What are we drinking here?
Yeah, what's in it?
So I wanted to showcase Australian spirits. We've only been known for it in the last recent years of 10 years. With gin distilleries up and rising, that situation, more bespoke ingredients. So using Brookie's gin from Byron Bay. Then absinthe from Lyres, which is...
Oh, there's absinthe in here?
Oh.
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
we'll be flying home then, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much back to the hotel. Wow. Absinthe is pretty strong stuff.
And this is a big seller here?
Yeah, it's a big seller.
Yeah.
Well, as of today, yep.
Hey, Travel Guy, let's toast to the Traveling Guy drink.
Cheers.
Enjoy,
Cheers.
gentlemen.
Thank you. Come check the Grounds in the City out when you're in Sydney.
Oh, that is good.
More travel guides coming up next. Stay tuned. And if you're not going to stay tuned, I'm not even going to talk to you.
Well, a brand new great pastime on cruise ships is a sport called Pickleball. It's a great thing you can do to pass the time when you're out at sea, and I don't mind saying myself, I'm a natural at the sport, as I am with most sports, and I'm going to have a little fun with it right now. No Holland America cruise is complete without fine wines and fine champagnes, and lots of them in our case. And we are here with the head honcho himself. It's Cellarmaster Bernie Dela Cruz. Thanks for showing us some good wines today.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Darren and I always like to get to know guys like you. It helps us out a lot. But here we are on a cruise from Australia to New Zealand, but you've got the rest of the world fairly represented. And starting with this one right here, what do we have?
So we're going to have the Ethos Chardonnay by Chateau San Michel, and this wine is from Washington State. This is more like aged in the oak cask for quite a while, and most especially French oak. And this is almost like a Napa Valley Chardonnay. This is 2015 vintage, and if you're going to look on the color, It's a little bit dark on the color.
And what would you pair this with? With chicken or?
So most of the Chardonnay, especially when they are oak Chardonnay, they are really best being paired with full-bodied white meats.
Very buttery aftertaste. Very
It's
nice.
really buttery.
We've got two reds here. Tell us about the one furthest from you.
So the Arboleda Carmenel. Carmenel is actually a Bordeaux grape, and it's one of those grapes that we actually call almost extinct grape variety, because this grape varieties was almost eliminated on Bordeaux blend, and some European immigrants, they brought this to Chile, and Chile has actually became now the home base of Carmenel grapes. And the last red wine actually is a Malbec from Argentina.
Nice, okay.
And Malbec is another Bordeaux grape. It's actually widely being grown in the area of Cahors in France, as well as in Bordeaux. In Bordeaux, it's a blending grape, but it found another home base, which is Argentina.
Boy, some of the best wines I've ever had have been right here on board the Noordam, and I know chocolate goes well with red wine.
That's not actually chocolate.
That's not chocolate.
Chocolate-coated blue cheese.
Ah, interesting. Cheese and chocolate both go well with red wine. So try that. Delicious. Well, Bernie, you really are the master of the cellars, and we appreciate your time here. Cheers, gents.
Cheers.
Thank you.
I'm standing here with Susan, who is from a town, and you say it brilliantly, so I want you to say it the way you did.
Santa Clarita.
I can't do better than that. Okay, you're from far away. Your thoughts on this this cruise so far?
Oh, amazing. It's been awesome. Yeah, we've loved it.
What are your favorite moments?
Well, I learned origami, which is a fun activity, indoors activities, but I love the ports, the atmosphere, the people. We've made some nice friends from all over the world. It's been great.
Just off the record, how good was our camera guy in origami?
Oh, you know, I was so impressed.
That's not what I heard. I heard he was expelled.
No, he was helping everybody.
The food's good, the entertainment's been great, the staff has been over the top.
What's your favorite thing about Australia that you saw?
I love Sydney Harbour. Going under the bridge was spectacular. Of course, the Opera House.
We find ourselves now in another great Australian city, the city of Melbourne, or as the Aussies call it, Melbourne.
Melbourne, yeah.
Behind us is the Yarra River, and I can't believe how much construction is happening behind us. Cranes everywhere. That's a good sign for the economy here.
It is, and if you're
Yeah.
following us geographically, we've gone from the state of New South Wales, where Sydney is, to the state of Victoria, where Melbourne is, and that's where we are.
Let's go check it out.
Well, sir, your thoughts on Melbourne? We're not here very long.
No, and the last time we were here, which I'm going to guess was about a dozen years ago, we weren't here very long then either, but it's a gorgeous looking city, by the way. But the thing I remember most about Melbourne is the fact that just outside the city was that fantastic koala colony. Remember that? All the
Yeah.
koala bears. You pull over on the side of the road and they're all up there in the eucalyptus trees.
Well, we didn't actually spend a lot of time in Melbourne last time we were here in 2009, I think, because we stayed out in a lovely kind of water resort area called Geelong, which allowed us to get to Great Ocean Road, which is something you should see if you're in this neighborhood.
Maybe it's just me, but the older I get, the more I look like a complete moron with a bike helmet.
Gotta wear the
How am I
helmet,
looking?
so.
How's this look?
Well, I wouldn't write
Your
home about
silence speaks volumes.
it. All right, let's go.
Let's do it. See that historic building behind us there? Mm-hmm. That used to be a jam factory here in Melbourne. Guess what it is now?
High-end condos?
Every city has it, but
I like the fact that they kept the integrity of the architecture of the place.
got a couple million? You could live in there.
I do not have a couple million. I do not.
I can't even afford this plate.
Well, partner, it's a great place to wrap up a day of exercise on these electric bikes in a great area, esplanade full of shops and stores.
That's right. It's a very busy area. We've got our exercise for the next 6 months.
6, easy.
Back to drinking beer now. You're here on this Holland America cruise. What do you think of the cruise so far?
It's been great. My wife and I have enjoyed it. We've really had a great time in the buffet eating, and at night we have gone to the shows and seen those.
There's really no shortage of food, is there?
It's especially today. It's they have a dessert extravaganza. And
Dessert
my wife, but I've had 2 desserts already.
It's a dessert extravaganza?
Yes.
What am I doing here? What am I doing here? It really is an extravaganza, but that's what you get here on a Holland America cruise. Oh, delicious.
I'm here with Joseph, who we met on the ship the other night. Great talk, lots of cocktails. Best outfit on the ship, my friend. Tell us about your favorite moments of this Holland America cruise.
It's been a lot of the excursions and the sights. Fiordlands was one of my favorite spots that we hit. I've never seen like beauty in such like majesty and like just the amount of waterfalls and very clear air, clear skies. So much like every time you look out a window, it's like you're looking at a portrait or like a painting.
Well, we've done our show in Australia a number of times over the years, but we have never been to where we are right now.
And that is the state of Tasmania. We're going to check out some caves and hopefully see a couple of them whirling Tasmanian devils from the cartoons.
I don't think they look like that.
I think they do.
Well, we've been to Australia many times, but as we mentioned earlier, we've never been here to Tasmania. A lot of our Canadian viewers don't know much about this country, so we got our guide, Barry. He's going to answer a few questions.
And he's an expert, by the way. Barry, growing up as oblivious Canadians, all we knew about Tasmania was from the Warner Brothers cartoon, The Tasmanian Devil. And there actually are Tasmanian devils here on this island, aren't there? Are there lots in the wild still?
There's quite a few. Most of the Tasmanian devils in the wild now are on the northwest of Tasmania,
Right.
down towards the west coast of Tasmania.
Are they vicious little guys?
Yeah, out in the wild they are. Yeah, no, they are. You wouldn't want to put your finger in there or anything like that. No, they are.
Don't worry, I won't.
You said a number of really interesting things on the bus ride here. One of which was how much percentage of this country is protected from urban development?
75% of Tasmania.
75%.
Now, tell us about some other things that are unique to Tasmania. I mean, do you have other animals here that you don't see anywhere else in the world?
No.
No?
No, most of the animals are here are nocturnal.
Right.
And they come out of a night time. And by coming out of a night time, you may have noticed on the road that there's a lot got run over.
Right.
And that is simply because they're nocturnal. But the University of Tasmania has developed a little tag that they put on the the posts as they go around, and the lights will shine on that, and it puts out a certain noise that only the animals can hear.
Keeps the possums away?
It keeps well, I got a possum in my backyard. He loves my strawberries.
What's his name?
Barry.
We'll go in and have a look. It's fairly steep here. There's handrails all the way, so take your time going down.
Well, this really is like something out of some crazy movie adventure. It's wild in here.
A sci-fi film from the 60s or something.
Look at this.
Yeah.
What is that?
This is something we haven't done in a very long time on this show. We're about an hour from the cruise ship at a place called Guns Plains Cave.
Don't forget to say that we're about 100 feet underground right now, too.
That's very cool.
We had to go way down, and this has been a tourist attraction for about 100 years here, kind of in the middle of nowhere in Tasmania. And is that a stalactite or a stalagmite?
Yes.
Well, I guess this is probably Australia's most famous animal here. I don't know if this is a kangaroo or a wallaby. I think it's a wallaby, but he's eating right out of my hand here. This is pretty wild. Friendly little guy, isn't he? Yeah, he's a friendly little guy.
Yeah, this is a great thing you can do here at Wings Wildlife Park is you pay a little extra and you can actually feed the, it's just so beautiful, these creatures.
They're very docile and gentle.
Yeah.
If you don't get them mad.
But don't come up behind them though, that's the thing
That's
you don't
right,
want to
exactly.
do, right?
They got such powerful hind legs and
sure
such
do.
tiny Tyrannosaurus Rex front legs. Cute little guy.
Yeah.
Hey there. Daddy loves you. Daddy loves you.
Uh-oh, I see a name coming up for this this animal.
I'm gonna give him a name. You ready?
What is it?
I saw him and I thought Roy.
Okay, Roy's not bad.
Roy.
Yeah,
It's the
okay.
perfect name. It's Roy the kangaroo / wallaby. Look how friendly he is. Now, if we see a Joey in Roy's pouch, then it's gonna have to be a different name.
Yeah, that's right.
See that bird behind you there?
I do.
That's sort of Australia's most famous bird, in my opinion. It's a kookaburra. It's the bird that you'll wake up to every morning if you're living in the outback that goes, wow, 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 wow. That's the noise that bird makes.
Are you in therapy right now?
Should I be?
No, I do very good at bird.
Well, why did you ask that? Wow, 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 wow. That's the noise he makes there, but see the long beak on him? Yeah, famous bird.
So you're thinking that bird on the other side of the cage going, hey, there's one of my buddies are out there. That's that sound.
I'm communicating.
Communicating, right.
You know the song, Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree, Merry, merry king of the bushes, he laugh, Kookaburra, laugh.
I do not know that song.
That's him laughing.
Excellent.
Well, this is what I remember about Tasmania as a kid. This little guy right here, the Tasmanian devil.
As I told you, he doesn't look anything like the cartoon, does he?
He does not look like the cartoon, but they are vicious, just like the one was in
Yeah,
the cartoon.
yeah.
And they do scream like a devil, like. That's my impression.
Very nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I thought so. But very cool to see one live and up close and personal in Tasmania.
Yeah, that's the first time for me.
When are you going to see a Tassie devil again?
I don't think I've ever seen one in a zoo, have you?
I don't think I have either, no. They're unique only to Australia.
Yeah.
Well, we've had a fair dinkum time here in Australia. No worries, no dramas, mate.
Great accent.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
I worked on that for 2 weeks.
I can tell, yes. We did have a great time here in Australia, but the ship also made some great stops in New Zealand. Here's a look. Do I have to ask?
I'm just making myself more at one with nature,
Wow.
with my kangaroo friends.
I see you're
You want some?
as lazy too.
Well, I like resting. Kangaroos like resting.
It's just adorable.
Me or the
I mean,
kangaroos?
you of
Okay,
course, but the
thanks.
kangaroos, I mean.
Well, we're at the main dining room on board the Noordam, and we've eaten our fill, and I dare say we've also drank our fill.
Gonna exercise and go on a diet when I get home. But before we leave, as we always do, let's check out Jim and Darren's top 5 coolest things about our Holland America, Australia, New Zealand cruise.
Number 5.
Exploring the amazing formations here at Guns Plains Caves.
It's actually spooky down here, isn't it?
Pretty amazing.
We're like 60 feet down right now. Number 4.
Soaking up the rays at one of the most famous beaches on the planet, Bondi.
Oh,
Catch your breath.
I'm trying.
Number 3.
It's got to be seeing Melbourne in style with our e-bikes and our extremely stylish helmets.
Glad you mentioned the helmets.
Yeah, we got a lot of good comments about these. I might just wear them when I'm not cycling.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Number 2.
It's got to be hanging out in one of our favorite cities in the world, Sydney, Australia, with that big building structure with the peaks behind us.
You mean Sydney Opera House?
Everybody knows what it's called.
True. And the number one coolest thing about our Holland America Australia cruise.
It's got to be hanging out with our new friend Roy the kangaroo. He's a friendly fella.
We will see you next time on The Travel Guys.
Can we bring Roy home with us?
Probably not.
Okay.
Post-production services by First Anniversary Pictures.
You want to just get down here?
Yeah, I'm up on a ledge here.
Yeah, it's really.
All right. Okay.
All right, what are we doing?
Nothing.
Okay.
Standing here, minding my own business.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
something. Well, you were standing up there minding your own business.
Well, I don't need you bossing me around, I know that.
The Travel Guys are on an exciting Holland America cruise of all. Let me get my sentence out. The Travel Guys are on a Holland America cruise.
Take six. Here we go.